Hi there, I'm Seb Maley from Qdos, and in this video we'll take a look at an IR35 investigation which we recently closed down for a contractor. Now, over the last few years we've been busy providing advice and determinations for private sector engagers, and also continuing to advise contractors themselves about how to remain compliant with the IR35 legislation. Alongside this, we also step in if HMRC do actually investigate, and we are currently representing several private sector firms who are being probed by HMRC. In addition to this, HMRC is still opening investigations into individual contractors, which can either be retrospective into pre-reform tax years, or if the contractor is working for a small company which sits outside the scope of the reformed rules. A couple of weeks ago, we were able to successfully defend a contractor and have their case closed down after a long and frustrating battle with HMRC. This particular case was originally opened by HMRC back in 2019 and focused on two of our clients' engagements with separate engagers. In the old days, HMRC seemed to focus a lot of their attention on contractors working in IT, but over the years their scope has definitely widened. This particular contractor was an engineer, and his two clients were very large oil and gas companies. At the outset of the investigation, it was clear to us that our client had a very strong case. He was well aware of IR35 and had taken steps to ensure that he ran his business and delivered his services to clients compliantly. He was, in our view, genuinely in business on his own account and was absolutely right to consider himself outside IR35. HMRC's CES tool agreed with us. When he completed their online questionnaire, it delivered a result of being self-employed for tax purposes. In fact, he had even achieved the holy grail when it comes to tax status and exercised his right of substitution in practice. To have a right is positive, but to have actually provided a substitute in reality should stop any IR35 inquiry in its tracks. Sadly, HMRC's management of the case was at best disorganised and at worst utterly shambolic. We went through no less than 6 case officers, all of whom had to pick up the inquiry from scratch before seemingly being replaced shortly after. Had any of them taken the time to properly review the circumstances, they would have seen that our client was firmly outside IR35. Sadly, this didn't happen, and we ended up having to issue a formal complaint to HMRC in February last year. We were then forced to issue a second complaint when our client started receiving letters from HMRC's debt management department, despite us previously postponing any liabilities until after the IR35 inquiry had concluded. HMRC acknowledged that they had received this complaint in April, and despite us chasing them, we heard nothing more from them until January 2023. Thankfully for our client, this was confirmation that HMRC were closing the case down and therefore no liabilities were due. Our client finally had HMRC's agreement that he was outside IR35, but what a painful experience it had been. Over 3 years of stress to prove that he was operating compliantly, despite it being pretty clear from day one. A lot is made of the financial risk associated with IR35, with the tax liabilities, the interest, the penalties representing a daunting prospect for contractors. What isn't spoken about as much is the process of the inquiry itself, regardless of the ultimate result. It creates a huge amount of stress, even when, as in this case, the contractor has professional representation throughout. We'll keep you posted on any future cases, so please subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions about IR35 or would like to ensure that you have protection in place, please just call or email our team, who will be happy to help. See you next time.